Good afternoon and welcome to 2019 Trash Mouth Fantasy Football League Trophy Presentation. We are here to honor the Gridiron Grudge match.
Yay!
This is Dave's 6th title, but his first in 14 years. How sweet it is. Dave started off the season at 1-2-1. In that span, his number one pick, Drew Brees, went down with an injury. He picks up Brissett and Hoyer, who proceed to toss 14 touchdowns in 5 games. Dave then reels off 5 straight wins before Brees returns. Dave then proceeds to clinch the East Division title for the 2nd straight year. When the playoffs start, Dave benches the number one kicker in the league, Butker, for the recently signed Kai Forbath. Butker becomes the first kicker drafted in the 5th round to lead the number one in points and win the championship. Advancing to Super Bowl 6, Dave does the unthinkable and benches Tom Brady for Ryan Tannehill. Despite not scoring since week 3,
that's it.
Dave rolls with Kamara and gets 12 points. At one time, Dave was down 27 points to Matt before making his comeback. It's his 2nd largest comeback in the playoffs or the Super Bowl. Dave is 5-2 all time with the chance to win the title either in the playoffs or on the Super Bowl. Dave has defeated 4 MVPs. 1997 was Brett Favre, 98 Terrell Davis, 2004 Peyton Manning, and in a few weeks 2019 Lamar Jackson. Dave, congratulations on a great season. Now get up here and claim your trophy.
Good job, Dave! Yay!
Good job, Dave. Good job.
Yay!
Thank you. All right. Welcome
Big
to,
number 6.
welcome to the 21st century.
Good job, Dave!
Nice.
It's all yours.
Okay. Long overdue. 14 years is a long time. I would say probably after I won the 5th one, I thought this was going to be a pretty good run for a few more. But as you know, in sports, sometimes things just don't work out. But I had to figure out that sometimes you have to change the way you do things. So I pressed a little bit for a long time. I overthink things. I over-research things. Spent hours upon hours of looking at stuff, and I realized that I wasn't getting anywhere, so I had to change the way I did things. So I made a phone call to Doug, and I go, Doug, what am I doing wrong? He's like, Dave, what the problem is, you're over-drafting, you're overthinking things, you're over-researching, you're impatient, you have just as much as knowledge as everybody in this league, but you're not keeping it simple. So that's what I did. I just dummied it down. I cut back a little more personal time, a little bit less research time, and then that changed everything. I finally figured out that you can win and do less with more. So that's what I figured out, and it worked out the last 2 years, finishing with the best record, finally winning it all. The playoffs was very tough. I beat 2 very good opponents. Learned a little bit from this guy right over here. This guy is a pretty bold person. I learned a little bit last year from Grim Reapers. He called me up. He's like, I got 2 quarterbacks off in the same week. Everybody else was waiting for him to drop one of them, and somebody was going to pick him up. 6 or 7 guys told me, as soon as this guy drops the guy, he's mine. And I go, he ain't going to drop him. He's like, he's crazy. How do you go into a week losing a quarterback? And he did. But he's like, I'm thinking big picture. I'll sacrifice 1 week, so I have the guy for the rest of the season. And we all know what happened last season. He won. What I'm trying to say is that guy taught me to think outside the box. So that's what I did. So going into this season, I knew if I had to be the champ, I had to beat the champ. And the way he got in was one of the most amazing things I've ever seen in my life on that Monday night when he got those 2 touchdowns to get in. So finally, I had to beat Grim Reapers. He's a very tough opponent. He's a smart guy. He knows what he's doing. he ruffles people's feathers, but that's what this league is about. That's why we have a trash can in this. So then I beat Matt. Matt, of course, was talking it up that Lamar Jackson was the best thing ever. But I said, look, I've been down this road before. I beat NFL MVPs. I got in his head a little bit, made him overthink things. So I finally got over the hump. I do appreciate the 6th title more than I actually appreciate the other ones, because it's been a long time, and you appreciate things when you don't have it. So it feels good to be back on top. It feels good to finally realize that I could do a lot more with less. So that's my game plan. And moving forward, I'm enjoying the league. I enjoy everybody in this league. I enjoy the commissioner and all the hard work he does, and everybody else. And this is sweet. So thank you very much. Good job.